What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be going over 5 tips for defenders in Rainbow Six Siege. Before we go any further, the links to all my socials are in the description below, so make sure you go check those out. Now, playing defense is a lot easier than playing attack in this game, simply for a few reasons. Because the main one is being the time is always on your side. That's the first tip for improving as a defender. Play the time, milk the time. The time is your friend. And the reason for that is, it's a 5v5. The attackers have 3 minutes to clear all of your utility and get onto the objective. So this means if there's like 30 seconds left and you're up in a 4v2, you don't need to swing everything. You don't need to play super aggressive. I feel like lots of defenders, just in general, regardless of the man count or the time in general, always play too aggressive, always play like they need to be on the offensive, when you just need to sit back, play the time, and make the attackers push you. You only engage the attackers when they engage you, or when you have a really free scenario. For example, if somebody's coming up main stairs and you get that call out, you don't go pushing them, you don't go swinging them. You're like, okay, they're going main, they're gonna probably push through trophy, let me wait for them. Then when they come to me, maybe you take the first move. Like, this is different if you're just swinging some guy close here, especially with Peeker's advantage and the servers at this state. You don't want to get swung because lots of times you won't see the person that shoots you. So you might want to swing first and use like a shotgun or pre-fire them or something like that. But this is a lot different. It's more of an aggressive peek rather than a stupid just walk around swinging everything peek. My next tip is, if you don't have a really long setup like you're a Pulse or a Vigil, hunt drones. Drones are super important for the defenders. They have 10 of them. And if you watch my attacking tips guide, then you'll know that drones are really good for finding utility, finding weak points in the defender setup, and then just finding roamers and defenders in general, and then moving your attackers accordingly to pinch and push them. So make sure that you're either hunting drones, check for pre-placed drones like on cabinets or maybe under tables in the corners of rooms, anything like that, especially if you're flanking. If you're coming up the stairs, you want to make sure there's no drone like in the corner or maybe in armory, something like that, that can give away your flank. My next tip is saving C4s and other utility for guaranteed kills. And what I mean by that is, lots of times people will just, let's go downstairs for this example. Lots of times people will just be like, oh, they get a call out, somebody's in kids. They're like, okay, so somebody's in kids, I'm just gonna throw my nitro cell. Or, oh, I hear somebody above me, I'm just gonna throw my nitro cell. You really only wanna throw your nitro cell if you have a yellow ping or a red ping or a Pulse or Valkyrie, some guarantee hard intel that where the attackers are that you're trying to kill. If you hear somebody above you and you're like, oh, I think they're over here, especially with siege sound, it's not very reliable. You throw your C4 and you waste it. That's a loss of a free kill. And the second thing is, now the attackers have a free angle to look down into the objective or wherever you're playing. Rather, you wait, maybe C4 in hand, you get a yellow ping, you throw it, you use it, and you get a kill. That's what makes Pulse so strong. He's able to give that intel and give your defenders, give your teammates free kills with their nitro cells rather than throwing them wildly. My next tip kind of goes back to my first point, which is hold angles. Like with playing time, you always have the advantage. So like with my example, it's pretty much the same thing. Don't go pushing everything. You don't need to push everything. Instead, hold an angle, because it's a lot harder for the attacker to win if you're holding a really tight angle with a shotgun, or you're sitting back here, maybe at an off angle, like prone with maybe Doc, or just any gun in general holding a pixel angle, rather than if you go, and like with the C4, you don't know exactly, you know somebody's in trophy, but you don't know where. You just go swinging in, expecting, oh, maybe they're master door, but they're not, they're in that corner, and you swing past them, and then you die, and then it's, wow, you lost the man, you don't get a refrag, and that's just not a smart play to make. Instead, if you are swinging, swing off of intel like your C4. For example, if I have a shotgun here, and I know, okay, my Jaeger or Vigil or somebody flanked up main stairs and downed a guy. All right, so there's 2 people in trophy. He downed one. I hear they're picking him up. I swing, and then I kill both of them. Or Vigil's coming up main stairs, and I'm like, all right, let's swing on 3. 1, 2, 3, swing, and then you both swing at the same time. Coordinated swings like that, especially, I mean, it's hard to do that when you're solo queued, but if you're playing with anybody and you are in the same situation like that, coordinated swings will get you a lot more kills, simply because you can't look 2 places at once. So if you're in this situation as an attacker and you're maybe looking towards trophy, if somebody swings you trophy, you're gonna shoot at them. But if at the same time somebody's swinging you master, you can't shoot both of them simultaneously. so one of them will kill you unless they completely potato and you hit a Psycho Flick or something like that. Then my last tip, which I feel like I do a lot, and I feel like a lot of people do a lot, kind of still going back with playing angles, is don't peek outside. Same thing with the intel. You don't want to be swinging outside because somebody, if you hear somebody outside, somebody could be there, they could be prone, they could be crouched, anything like that. When in reality, what you need to do is either not swing, just in general, don't swing outside windows. Instead, hold the angle, wait for them to push you. Especially if I do this a lot, I play smoke and mute a lot, so it's not the best thing to be swinging a Zofia, maybe 20 meters back, or maybe on top of the school bus, some crazy angle like that, with the SMG-11 against one of the best guns in the game that has an ACOG. So just wait for them to push you. You can maybe hold an angle from below. You can play inside of security. I do this a lot when we're playing dining. That's not security. You can sit inside of security and you can watch up through a foot-hole, through a floor hole, and see if somebody jumps in the window, anything like that. But quickly recapping, lots of these tips I feel like are pretty similar, but I just wanted to make sure I emphasize them. Play the time, wait for the attackers to push you. Only swing the attackers in 2 situations. 1, they're swinging you, or 2, you have the intel, you have the advantage. There may be one shot, you have a really good, strong gun. Maybe they have, like, I don't know, the Bearing 9 and you have a shotgun and you can easily swing that. They're one shot and you are full health, something like that. If you have a short setup or if you're done with your setup, hunt drones. Drones are really important for giving defenders, giving attackers information of where you are, how your setup is looking, pretty much everything that the attackers need to formulate a plan and attack. Save C4s, impacts, smoke grenades, everything like that for guaranteed solid information. Like, okay, I think somebody's here, I hear somebody here, that's a bad idea. Rather than, we have a Valk cam, somebody is sitting right here on drone, not moving. You can C4 that, get a free kill. Going back to the first tip, kind of, hold angles. Holding an off angle, especially something like this. Nobody is going to probably swing a room pre-aiming you on top of the foosball table, or swing a room pre-aiming you on top of this couch. They're going to expect you. That's why prone angles are really strong. People will usually, especially higher level players, are better at aiming head height. So if they swing this room and you're not here, you're all the way up here, and you're already pre-aiming at their head height, it's going to, they have to go all the way from here to here, and you just need to click once. So you will have a higher chance of winning that fight. Going back to that tip again, don't swing, especially outside, because again, unless you have solid intel, like somebody's prone, 1 health, or like on drone, something like that, you can swing that if it's off of good intel, like with the C4s. But don't just go like, okay, let me just swing out here, because you don't know where anybody is. They could be there, they could be there, they could be there, they could be on that holding an off angle, they could be here, on there, pretty much everywhere they could possibly be. They could even be repelled all the way back in this corner. And especially if you have the SMG-11, you don't want to be swinging out against maybe a Thermite, Zofia, somebody, maybe even a Blackbeard. I feel like people do this a lot against a Kali or a Blackbeard. Or just they don't even know it's a Kali or a Blackbeard. They just hear somebody outside, and they swing, and they get to right here, and they see it's a Blackbeard, and they're like, oh well, I'm dead. And that's just not a good look, not something you want to do. But those are 5 tips for instantly improving your defensive rounds. If you enjoyed, remember to like and subscribe. I stream pretty much every day, link in the description below. Links to all my socials in the description below, so make sure you go check those out. Thank you for watching, and peace out, gamers.